not really big on like, look what I've done. But apparently, like, you guys need to see this so that you can trust and believe me. I am not a weirdo or a scammer. Well, I am a weirdo, but like, look at the results. Wow, this is amazing. Ugh, I hate that part, but I know you guys need it, so there. Okay, so if you've made it here, it's because you're someone who is either wanting to break into high ticket sales, or you're someone who already has experience and is in the industry, but you're looking to up level your sales skill or find a better offer because your offer right now isn't great and you're not making great commission. Either way, I need you to watch this video from beginning to end. If there's anything that you do, please just watch this all the way through. I don't care about your level of experience. I don't care if you're brand new. I don't care if you've been in the industry for forever. The only thing I care about is that you're good. And most of the people who are either doing high ticket sales right now or want to break into it aren't. So in this video, I'm actually going to pull back the layers on the high ticket sales industry, really just strip away from all the bullshit and give you the truth. I've had too many calls up until this point where I've had to explain what high ticket sales is or how to find great offers. And I literally just wanted to make this video to educate you so you know exactly what you're getting into and how to have the absolute best career you possibly can. In the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna tell you exactly to a T what high ticket sales is, how to get into the industry, how to learn the skill, and how to find the offers that you need to make the commission you have to in order to live the lifestyle you wanna live.
And at this point, you're probably asking yourself, who the fuck is this girl and why is she credible to tell me what to do? Well, I'm gonna tell you why and you can make that decision for yourself.
For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Lil Silver. Some people online call me Sales Daddy. I didn't make that, but I will own it. And I do kind of like it. It has like a nice little ring to it. But I've been able to close over $3 million in sales myself, whether that was on call or directly in the DMs. I got into sales when I originally started my own business. So I had a like done for you social media business. It was a high ticket offer. And so when I started sales, I sucked in my own business. I was taking my own sales calls and I was leaving money on the table and I was horrible. So I took more and more sales calls and got from horrible to like bad, from bad to decent, from decent to okay, from okay to good, from good to pretty good, from pretty good to really good, and then great.
And then invested over $200,000 in mentorship to learn from the absolute best.
And then here we are today. So I've been running that business for a few years and I moved from done for you just to like social media branding strategy and love that. I helped my business owners at the time be able to grow their businesses, build their brand, go viral, create content that generated high paying leads, be able to articulate their voice and message online the way that they wanted to. That was what my bread and butter was. I also helped them create their own offers, build out and scale their businesses, build out landing pages, sales funnels, all that stuff, right? I was mainly focused on that. And then over the past 2 years, I really took a hard right and pivoted directly into sales. And the reason I did this was because I was just so passionate about this. I was recognizing that a lot of the coaches I was working with at the time lacked that skill. Like they would have the leads, but they just couldn't close them. They thought that they needed more leads, but they would bring in more leads just to be shitty at sales and still not close clients. And if I could just help them fix the sales process and learn how to close the leads they did have, then they would be perfectly fine. And so when I made that hard right was when I started working more with business owners on that sales process. So a lot of business owners actually hired me to teach them sales. So for instance, like a trainer would hire me to come in and build out their offer, help them increase their price points, teach them how to objection handle, teach them my sales framework so they can get on call and close. And over the past 8 years, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of business owners and coaches who sucked at sales and needed to get better at sales. And it was great because they hired me and I was able to help them change their life, which was dope. Now, business owners still hire me, sales teams hire me to come in and train them, but now I've got a bunch of you closers and setters I'm working with too. And the reason this came about was because when I was working with a lot of those coaches, like I was telling you earlier, who I helped their sales process, they started making more money, they were ready to scale and bring on a sales team to take that on for them. Guess who they came to? Me. They're like, well, Lo, like I love your sales process. I can no longer take these sales calls, or I can no longer be in my DMs. I'm too busy. Do you know anyone? Or do you have any closers and setters that you're training that you could maybe pass my way? And I was like, well, no, not really, because I mainly worked with business owners. I was B2B. And that was how this offer came into fruition. And now we're here today where I've created this offer to really just fill a need for all of the clients I currently have. And now I'm making this shift to work with you guys, which has been cool. But we got to lay some ground rules first. Okay, so let's get into it. You're either here because one, you want to break into the high ticket sales industry and don't know what steps to take. Maybe you've watched some master classes, maybe you've done a little bit of research, but you're probably 1 to 2 weeks in. I highly recommend you do not book a call with me until you finish watching this because I will know if you didn't and I will cancel your call. The second reason you're here is because you're already in high ticket sales, but your conversion rate is absolute shit. And you know that you're leaving money on the table. You know that you're not showing up like the authority you want to on sales calls. And so you want to increase your sales skill overall. Or you're someone who who's really great, and you have to be honest with yourself. So if you're this person who already has experience and you're really good at what you do, but the offer you're on doesn't support your career, like there's no way the commission you're making is going to help to build the lifestyle you want, and you know you need to change, you're here because you're seeking new offers. If you're one of those two people, you are in the right place. Now, I've been getting on a lot of sales calls and realized that there isn't a good enough understanding of how high ticket sales works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the industry and exactly what each role does. The first one is going to be a setter, and the second one is going to be a closer. A setter is someone who sets up calls for the closer. So they are responsible for vetting and triaging any sort of lead to get rid of unqualified leads. This way, when they put the calls on the calendar for the closer pretty much knows that they're going to be able to close the client because they've been properly vetted and qualified by you, the setter. Now, there are many different types of ways that leads come in. Some people are DM setters, meaning that the business owner whose offer you're on mainly gets a lot of their leads from organic content or paid ads through Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever. And your job is to manage those conversations, really qualify that person, and get them booked on a calendar. Or maybe they've already booked and your goal is to go in to triage them to make sure that they're super qualified and deal with any potential reasons that they wouldn't purchase from the application. Another way you're going to get leads is potentially through phone call setting. And sometimes there are funnels where leads will opt in and we can pick up the phone and give them a call. So there's different ways to set depending on the offer that you're in. Now, in regards to pay structure, most setters get a base plus a commission. It depends on the offer that you're in. So I'm going to keep saying this because there is an industry standard, but every offer has a different tier structure or pay structure that fits for their business. But the industry standard that you'll see is a base salary that's something low, something between $500 to $3,000. I've seen up to $4,000 a month for a really great setter, plus a commission of 3 to 5%. I've also seen this commission go up to 8% or 12%, again, depending on the offer. The setter's role is going to be nittier and grittier. Your job is literally to filter out shitty leads and to set these closers up pretty much for a slam dunk on the call. That is your responsibility. Most people look at setting and they look at it as a lesser position than closing when that is not the case. Some of the best closers, including myself, starting in the setting process. Now, setting can be a stepping stone for you to get into closing, especially if you don't have that skill yet, because I think closing can be a harder role to learn because you're literally on the spot. You have to be able to play chess on a sales call in real time, whereas in setting, you get a little bit more time to think and work behind the scenes. So yes, setting can be a stepping stone for closing, it usually is, but it also can be a full-time position if you enjoy it. A lot of setters, especially the ones that we teach, not only learn how to set calls for closers, but we also teach them how to close directly in the DMs. And if you can close in your DMs, you're going to get paid the same commission that a closer would. So keep your eye out for that. And this is especially for my people who are transitioning from 9 to 5s and are trying to get into sales, but maybe don't have the skill for closing just yet. This call setting position could be a really good one for you because it can be flexible around your schedule. Now with closing, the role here is being able to get on the call with the prospect who's been qualified and take them through the entire sales process of building the connection and rapport with them, being able to set the frame, walking them through your solution to their problem, understanding what their problem is obviously first, and then actually getting this person to make the transaction with you on call. The beautiful thing about high ticket sales, specifically in the online coaching space, is that the sales cycle is shorter. What that means is that in other industries like solar or tech, the closing cycle, depending on the offer, could take weeks, months, even years, depending on, again, if you're working in a different industry. With high ticket coaching offers, because these offers are usually 4 figures or even 5 figures, some of them are 6 figures, you can get people to make an investment with you on call. And the sales cycle can be 1 call, maybe even 2 calls if you have to, but you should be able to PIF, paid in full, and 1 call close, which means you're collecting payment on that first call in a lot of these high ticket offers. So your job as a closer is to get on that call and to get this person to be willing to invest and cross the finish line. In terms of pay structure for closers, the industry standard across the board is 10%. If you're closing a $10,000 deal, you're gonna make $1,000 of commission. Again, depending on the offer that you're in, sometimes the commission can be higher, sometimes it can be lower, sometimes they incorporate a base pay over time, there's different tiers. Every offer is gonna be different, but that is the industry standard. So as a little recap here, for our setters, it's gonna be a base plus commission of 3 to 5%. And then for our closers, it's gonna be 10% on every call close. That is actually how you get paid in high ticket sales. And I wanted to break it down so you could just understand that. Okay, so now that we've gotten through what the roles are and the commissions and how that all works, what I do wanna clarify is that high ticket sales is not just working 2 hours a day and living like this leisured, soft life, being able to just do what you want and travel from wherever. Does it provide you location freedom and financial freedom? Absolutely. But I wanna make something clear that it does not give you time freedom, meaning you don't have the time to do what you want, when you want, how you want to do it. You still have a schedule. You still have to take calls. You still have to close those calls, and you have to be good enough to close those calls. And if you're not, you're actually gonna have to spend way more time taking sales calls and studying than someone who is really good at sales because you're not good enough. The time actually could be longer. And I think people have this like false idea of what high ticket sales actually is because of what's being marketed online, but you have to understand that it is not easy, okay? It takes really hard work for you to start hitting $10,000 a month in commission. That in itself is a difficult feat. Like, it's not something that just happens overnight. It doesn't happen in the first 30 days of joining high ticket sales. What it is often is a shit ton of studying, watching your own sales calls, getting further mentorship to increase your skills, taking more and more sales calls. It's going back in and doing the extra things. Like, the really great closers are the ones that go find their own leads. They don't just sit there waiting for the setter to put the calls on their calendar and say, okay, I'm gonna show up today, here's my Zoom and my matcha. Like, that doesn't work like that. The best closers are the ones that rework old leads. People who didn't follow up, they're putting them back on the schedule. They're moving calls up. They're vetting people on their own. That's what a great closer does. So while this industry is so rewarding because you do have a location freedom, you can take your calls from wherever you want in the world, and you do have financial freedom when you start getting really good, you can make a lot of money doing this, but it is something that you have to get down. And when you first join my program, anyone else's program, because you're learning a brand new skill, you're going to have to work your ass off to learn the skill first before you can start reaping all the benefits. That's just the reality. And I just like to share the truth. So what I want to walk through next is going to be how this industry actually works and the options you have to find offers to start. You've probably already done some research by this point. Like, this isn't the first video that you watched. You might have even gotten on a few calls with a few different companies where they pitched you their offer and you felt like, oh my God, this is a scam. I have to pay to join. Of course you do. You don't go to college, get a 4-year education, graduate, get a 6-figure career, and then pay your tuition off. You either are paying the money up front or you're getting a loan that you have to pay off for the rest of your life, and then you never even end up using your degree anyway. So like, that was a waste, but that's how that goes. Same thing with this process. You have 2 options here though. The first route you can go in is you can go find these offers on your own. You can go to YouTube University, you can watch my content, you can watch a lot of content out there on high ticket sales, and you can actually learn how to do sales without hiring anyone. Like, if you actually just deep dive on my content enough, you will learn my entire sales framework. You'll learn how I handle objections. You'll learn how I walk through the cash closing method. You'll learn how I close in the DMs. I explain everything to you. If you're a great student, everything is there for you. The option you have here once you've learned high ticket sales is you can start doing your own outreach. Reach out to a bunch of coaches online, send them DMs and say, hey, I want to join your program so I can do sales for you and take that off your plate. Would you be interested? Or you can go to like a family friend or someone in your network who you know has their own online business, and you can start selling for them right away. Like, that would be one of the first things that I would do if I was you and I didn't have a budget or I didn't want to invest in working with someone because I didn't know who to trust. That's what I would do. That's the first option you have. The second option you have is actually just hiring someone like myself, like anyone else out there. If you go to TikTok right now and you type in high ticket sales, click on someone's video that pops up, boom, they have a program. Hire them. Doing your research on what offers you want to be in and why is also important, because some of these offers don't necessarily guarantee you placement, and they say that they do. There's a whole thing around that. I'll explain it in a little bit, but those are the 2 options you have. You still have option number 1. The difference between option number 1 and option number 2 is time. That's literally it. Like, it's the time to get into the offer. It's the time to get started. It's the time to learn the skill so that you don't have to spend 2 or 3 years learning it and trying to go find your own offer. You can expedite that process by paying $4,000, $6,000, $10,000 to someone who has the offers and can give you the training in less than 90 days. So it's more about you picking your priority. It's going to cost you one of 2 things. It's going to cost you time or it's going to cost you money. So it's up to you to make that decision. This is the truth. A lot of offers out there really focus on bringing you in and then getting you stuck in a portal. You get into their offer, they teach you how to do sales for 3, 4, 5 months. You have to graduate, you have to get a certificate. Once you graduate, then you can start applying for offers. They usually don't allow you to start applying for offers until you've graduated their program, which honestly makes sense because they don't want people applying for all these offers with their own network or coaches and being really shitty. Like, that is something I totally understand. The thing though is that not everyone who gets into sales has the same level of experience or natural ability with sales. So I don't want to put you, who is already doing high ticket sales, through a 4-month academy or program for you to graduate and then be able to get the offer you're looking for. If you have more experience than someone else, I don't want to put you through that position. So in our offer, we don't do it that sort of way, but a majority offers, that's how it's going to go. And you'll be put into this portal with probably a few thousand people. And so you'll just be a number and kind of get lost in the sauce. It is really up to you at that point to like climb your way through and make sure that you get the career that you want. Like, you really have to go out there and grab it. There isn't a lot of support, which some people find this very successful and this works for them and they have been able to find offers. But if you're someone someone is looking for more hand-holding, that's probably not the place for you to go. The reason I'm explaining this is because a lot of people ask me, well, Lo, what's the difference between your program versus other people's program? When I'm explaining about coming in and going into a portal is something that we don't have. We only work with about 20 people at any given point. We don't work with 200 or 2,000, it's just 20 individuals. Now, these other offers, the difference is that most of them, as you graduate after 4 months, then have to go reach out to coaches on your own through IG DMs. Like, you have to actually DM someone on Instagram. I would rather choose option number one that I listed earlier than go join a program, spend $6,000 to learn this skill, and then have to still go find the offers and opportunities on my own. So you send them this really lame DM, they're never gonna see it. It's in their requested bin. So again, they're never gonna find that message. And here you are shooting hundreds and hundreds of DMs to coaches with your fingers crossed, hoping that one of them sticks or one of them finds you and it's actually a good offer. Kind of like a needle in the haystack. Probably unlikely that you're gonna get an opportunity, or it's gonna just take a lot more time. What I've also seen people do in this industry is that it's kind of like a pyramid scheme. And I'm not trying to like talk shit or any of that sort of stuff, because that's not my thing. I don't do drama. I have heard that multiple companies bring you in and there really is no offer. Like, you're just selling their program. And so that might be beneficial to you because you're making money selling more people into the offer that you just bought. But I don't know that I could sleep with myself at night knowing that this person is buying something and probably won't be successful, or will probably just be reselling something to someone else and joining this pyramid thing that we're doing. Like, to me, that feels very unethical. And then at the end of the day, when you end up in this portal and you're sending DMs or you're reselling this person's program, I've typically found that most people who I get on calls with are really unhappy. Like, they're still stuck in the portal, they're still sending the DMs, they don't find the offer, and that's when people end up coming to me. And this is the reason I actually end up creating this academy in the first place, was literally based off of this need. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, I specifically only worked with clients B2B. So when they started to ask me for my closers was when I created this opportunity. And so if you're watching this video and you made it to this point, one, congratulations. It means you actually give a fuck about your life and your career and you want to do something different. Love that for you. But number two, now I want to talk about the way that you can work with me if that is what you want to do. One disclaimer I want to make here is that I genuinely wanted to make this video just to educate you. If you leave this video right now and you were able to get the information that you needed to make the best decision for yourself, whether that's to work with someone else, whether it's to go do this on your own, or it's to work with me, I love that for you. I genuinely don't care if you don't want to work with me and if I'm not the right choice. I'm just tired of seeing all the false shit I'm seeing online right now, and I wanted to just create this video for full clarity. This is how this works, this is what it looks like, and there are opportunities out there for you outside of mine. If mine happens to align with you and it feels like it's the right fit for you, then you're someone I want to work with. But I also have rules to playing my game. This isn't a thing where just because you have money, you can come work with me. I'm someone who has turned away about 50% of people who have been qualified, meaning like they could be great at sales or they already have experience and they have the money, and I just simply didn't enjoy them. I'm not for everyone, and everyone isn't for me. So in the offer that I've created, I want to break down how it works, because if you're at this point and you know that you want to move forward, you want to at least get on a call with me, keep watching. If at this point you're kind of like, I really don't like her, she's a little bit forward and she curses too much, you should leave this video and go find the mentor that fits for you. But if you're still here, then let me break it down for you. Okay, so in my academy, this is a 90-day container. And in this 3-month period of time, like I mentioned before, there is no you having to go through a full curriculum and the full 90 days to be able to graduate and then start applying for offers. For me, I want to meet you with where you're at. I am only working with a select group of individuals, a quantity that I know that I can serve. I'm not working with hundreds of people or thousands of people. My goal is really to work with a group of individuals that I know I can train, personally work with, and be able to develop you into the closer you need to be to get into the offer that you want to get into. That's going to help you to create the lifestyle that works for you. Now, in this 90-day period of time, you're going to get access to my digital courses. These are things that you'll watch that will set you up with the following 3 things. One, you will learn my setting process in the DMs or on call. You will learn my closing process in the DMs, so you can learn how to collect payment directly in the DMs without needing a sales call, which is very valuable to a business owner. And then finally, you're going to learn my closing process. This is the cash closing method. This is the on-call sales process that I use, the exact framework that I use to close clients on call. And you'll learn all 3 of those things in those courses. You will watch this before we start your cohort. And so this cohort or group that we're running will be a 6-week journey where I will walk you through the nuances of setting in the DMs, closing in the DMs, and on-call closing. What I don't want to do is waste our time in that 6 weeks to go over over the fundamentals. That's also in part why I'm making a video like this, because I don't want to waste your time or your money. I want to make sure that when we bring you in, we are ready to get right to work and we can get you into an offer as soon as possible, because we have no timeline. How quickly you move is how quickly we move. Now, the 6-week cohort doesn't start until we close the group off. And this is such a benefit to you, because in this time, you'll start watching our virtual academies, you'll learn all these processes. So by the time we actually start, you know everything. And majority of people that we bring in, I actually want to start to get into offers, whether as a setter or a closer, before we start. This way, when we start our process together, you're actually being able to implement in real time, get a little bit messy with it. And then as we're going through our teachings, you're able to implement our teachings into a real life experience, which is what most of you guys are lacking in the first place. Or if you're currently in an offer, you can start implementing all the tools and tips I'm giving you right from the jump and not having to wait till we start. So the 6-week cohort is inside of the 90 days. And the sweet thing about this whole entire thing is that I have 5, if not 7 calls a week where you can hop on about closing, setting, Q&A just to come on and ask your questions, interview prep for the offers that you're jumping into and interviewing for. There are calls every single week that you have access to so you can be most prepared. Like, most of our students don't even use 50% of the access because it's so much. So literally the only reason you're failing is because you just don't want to show up. Like, the way that this offer is set up is that you have to choose to fail. But throughout the 90-day period of time, you also get access to the Sales Collective. The Sales Collective is where we drop new opportunities every single day, where you don't have to go DM coaches, but you can directly apply for an opportunity that you love. Once we give you the thumbs up, once we feel good about you, you would go ahead and apply straight away for an offer that you feel like is something that really aligns with you. And these are all offers that are in-house. This way, like I said, you don't have to go email or DM people. You can immediately just apply straight from the Sales Collective. Now, the sweet thing about this opportunity is not only do we have the Sales Collective, which is something that you'll see in other offers, by the way. Like, I'm not the only offer that has this. Some of them are not as great. Some of them, like, there's a job posting and you can DM coaches. Some of them, they actually have it where you can apply, very similar to mine. But what we do is a white glove service. And so we love to present you 3 hand-selected opportunities with coaches that we work with specifically, with a guarantee placement of 1. And the reason that we do a guarantee placement, and the reason that we can do a guarantee, is because I will keep working with you until I make you the closer you need to be to get into the offer that you want to. And I will also ensure that you get into an offer. I will not stop working with you until you do. And again, the reason we can keep that guarantee as well is because, like I mentioned, a lot of these clients are actually my own clients. These are my own B2B clients that I was working with before that are scaling. They're now building sales teams, or they already have sales teams, and they're consistently looking for setters and closers to come in. Well, guess what? Those are my own clients. So I can actually directly pick up the phone, give them a call and say, hey, I've got John, Susan, Tiana, whoever. I know that they're a great fit for your company. You're skipping all the other bullshit of sending Loom videos, jumping through hoops to get into opportunities, and I can literally set up an actual interview where you get to directly meet with either the sales director or the CEO. One thing to understand about sales, you will usually have 2 interviews. That's a typical standard process, because you're usually going to meet with the sales director and then the CEO, but some companies even have 3 steps that you have to walk through. With me, we usually have like a 2-step sales interview process with some of our bigger offers, but some of our smaller offers that are making $100,000 a month that are needing closers and setters now is pretty much a shoe-in. And when I reach out to them, the CEO is getting on a call with you right away. And because I know them and I know you and I know your potential and they trust me, it's usually, again, like a shoe-in. I can't make these coaches take you, and I want to make that clear. While this is a guarantee, like, I will keep working with you until you get an opportunity, what I want to make clear is that, number one, if you do not show up and you do not do the work, I cannot make a coach take you. I can't guarantee what you're going to do. You have to be willing to do the work and to study and to be a student so that you can put yourself in the best position possible to be taken on. Similarly, a coach who does interview with you, I usually nail this, but if for some reason I don't nail it, like, it just, I don't know, like, I was just having a real bad day, the odd chance that this does happen, the coach can also say, you know, I'm gonna have to respectfully decline. I really love this person. Here's feedback. And at least I can give you the feedback that they have provided to me about why they didn't choose you. But they do have that option. But again, like I said, because I have these direct connections and I know where you're at, because I'm directly working with you in this process, I know what they're looking for. And I'm never gonna put you in a position if you are not ready to interview with one of my coaches, because what I don't want to do, and what some of us do, is we try to prematurely interview because we're excited and we need to move quickly and our back is against the wall and we need to make money, that we squander an opportunity because we jumped in too soon. We want to make sure you're prepared. We want to make sure that the opportunity sticks. And that's the difference between working with us and someone else, is that I do actually care about the end result and where you're going to end up. So that is the way that our offer is laid out. I probably missed a few things, honestly, but that's why you're going to book a call, because we're going to talk more in depth on exactly what the journey looks like, how you're going to get the support you need, and how quickly your journey can be compared to someone else's. because I can get an individual feel of where you're actually at. At this point, some frequently asked questions that I do get from people are the following. Can this be part-time? The simple answer is yes, but I highly suggest that you try to come into this full-time. I do understand that some of you guys already have jobs and are trying to transition into this, but it is possible. I would say if you can give at least 20 hours a week, that's a great place to start. When you're first starting though, your studying doesn't account for those 20 hours. So you're gonna have to work your ass off, but you have to know though that you can start as long as you're willing to maybe go a little bit slower, pretty much because you're learning this skill. So it's gonna take you some time. However, that's not for everyone, because if you're coming in with more experience and you don't need to study as much, or you're studying just here and there, the 20 hours can truly be dedicated just to closing if you can get into an offer sooner than later. Second question I get is how quickly can you become a closer? That really depends on you. This is why I was telling you I can't do guarantees, because if you come in and you send your ass and you do nothing, honestly, I can guarantee you're gonna fail. But if you come in and you do the hard work and you get after it right away, you're gonna be perfectly fine. The truth is that some people are more inclined to sales. Like they have more of the character traits to be successful in sales than other people. Doesn't mean that it cannot be developed. Sometimes it just takes longer. So the thing you have to understand, and the truth I'm gonna provide to you, is that your growth and where you go in this journey is also highly dependent on where you're at and what you're willing to do, and me just meeting you with where you're at. That's all. With some people, I can get them into an offer within 24 hours. I have the offers. That's not the problem. It's more about your skill level. What I can't do is get you into an offer in 24 hours if you're shitty at sales. But if you come in and you're humble and you know that this is going to take time and you have patience, but you go hard. Some people, again, have that natural inclination to sales. I can get you into an offer within a week or 2 weeks if you can pick things up. I've done it. I've done it with Margaret. Margaret came to me brand new. She was stuck in a portal for 5 months. First call we had was in tears. Sorry, Margaret, for calling you out right now. I love you. But was in tears, and now is setting in an offer, in a position to become like a junior closer for the offer. She's closed in the DMs. She's really done the thing. I've also worked with Zarina. Zarina is someone who came to me who was already experienced. She had done high ticket sales. She had done a little hiatus, needed some time off, and then was coming back and just really simply needed an offer, but also wanted to work on leveling up her skills. And so she comes to our calls, but also has already started closing on a deal within a week of being in the offer. Like, those two experiences definitely live here. There's a large spectrum of people that I have the ability to help, but they also want to help themselves. And that, I think, is the most important aspect of this. The third thing is, can you make 10K in your first month? This is such an annoying question because Zarina is making 10K this month. This is her first month in an offer. But like, is Margaret going to make 10K in her first month? Probably not. Is she gonna make like a couple thousand? Absolutely. But in her first 30 days of becoming a setter and then being able to learn how to close in the DMs, I think that that is fucking sick. Like, I think that that opportunity in itself goes to show that, again, the work you put in is what you're gonna get out. In this 3-month period of time, you should be able to make the investment back that you've put into this if you work hard. But I don't do that guarantee either, because if you come in and you sit in your ass and you do nothing, you're not gonna make anything. I can guarantee that. Question number 4, I think it's number 4, number 3, I don't know. Anyway, how quickly can you get placed? On average, we've been able to get people into offers within about 2 to 3 weeks of joining our program. On the longer end, we've had some people take 30 days who knew that they needed more time because they weren't ready, and we communicate that, and we were very transparent about it from the beginning. So that was an expectation that was already set. But we've also had some people on the short end of being able to get into offers within 24 to 72 hours. Genuinely, those are our results. Take a look at them if you want to see them. This is like actually people who've been able to get into offers quickly. And then the 5th question, I think is the 5th one because now I lost count. Where do our offers come from? Most of the offers I place people in are with my own B2B clients. I also do have a network through the Sales Collective where people are constantly DMing me, reaching out to me, looking for closers and setters that I provide for you guys. We do an extensive vetting process to ensure that these offers are great. Their price points are where they're supposed to be. The OTE or the earning potential is there. Any offer that's available in my offer, that sounds funny, are all offers that I would personally want to close on. So I would never present to you an offer that I personally myself wouldn't feel comfortable closing on. You're not doing cold outreach, you're not doing cold dialing, you're getting people who are warm leads, there's an organic presence, the business owner that you're working with has great credibility, has great lead flow. The offer prices are from 5K up to 6 figures. We have offers that are $150,000. Every offer we're gonna present to you is going to be a great offer, period, point blank, and if it's not, then it's not part of my offer. Now, if you made it to this point and you watched this entire video, one, like I said, like, congrats, because that means you actually care about yourself. But the second part of this is, if you've loved what I explained about my offer and you're wanting to learn more about my offer, you're ready to take that jump, you are ready to invest in yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and financially, you can book a call with me. So we can get on a call and talk about you joining the small cohort that I'm running to train you specifically on getting great at high ticket sales and either getting you into a brand new offer because your offer sucks right now, or finding you your first offer ever to get your first close. If you're booking this call, it's because you know you're ready. If you're booking this call, it's because you know you're serious. If you're booking this call, it's because you respect your time and you respect mine as well. Please do not book this call if you're not ready to invest. And please do not book this call if you do not plan to show up, because it might just actually be me on that sales call with you and not one of my closers. And if you ghost me, I'm gonna be pissed. But if you're watching this and you feel like my approach aligns with you a lot more and it's something that you're really serious about doing, I need closers. I have the offers. That is not the problem. All I need is competent people with the crazy work ethic who know that a change has to happen. If you're watching this and you feel that, book your call. If you're watching this and this scares the shit out of you and you're like, I don't know if I want to do that, don't even bother, okay? Anyway, whether you book this call or you don't book this call or you go to work with someone else, genuinely wish the absolute best for you. I want your career to be amazing, and I will always be here to give you value as much as I possibly can. So if you do end up booking, I'll see you on call, potentially. I hope either way that this video was valuable for you and taught you about the space and really gave you the truth about what's going on. Some people may not like me, some people talk bad about me, some people have an issue with me, some people don't like the way that I show up, but something that everyone can say about me is that I tell the truth and that I'm honest. So I hope this video met you with where you're at and gives you the information you need to make an informed and educated decision. Happy closing, and you're welcome.